Hey, Yitz, what's up?
Baruch Hashem, want to talk some Parsha?
Just what I had in mind. So in this week's Parsha, Toldot, so many things are going on, so many stories, but I want to talk about Yaakov and Eisav. And if we go back to the first interaction between them as adults, there's a very interesting thing going on over there. We see in the Psukim that Eisav is coming back from the field and he's tired. It doesn't tell us why he's tired. It just says, "Vehu Ayef." We know Eisav is an Ish Sade. We know he likes to hang out in the field, and we also know that he's an Ish Tzaid. Besides that, he likes to hunt. But in this case, he's coming back from the field. We don't know what he did there, and he really is tired. Now, this is not just being tired from doing something. That's what he is. He is tired. And we see this affects also the way he looks at his life. Because when he turns to Yaakov, he says, because I am tired. I'm always tired. I am tired. Why is Eisav so tired? Why is he so tired that it even affects him that he wants to die or that he sees himself as about to die? What has Eisav been doing that he's so tired?
That's a great question. And as you're defining it, really the being tired is not just some fact. The pasuk doesn't say Vayavo Eisav Ayef min hasadeh or Vayavo Eisav min hasadeh Ayef, meaning that the reason he's tired is because he was in the field. It's Vayavo Eisav min hasadeh, והוא עייף. That's just what he is, who he is. He's just tired. Why is he so tired? The interesting thing also is when Eisav comes tired from the field and he looks at what Yaakov is preparing, he says, Hal iteni namina adoma adoma. Give me that red stuff. What does that mean? And this seems to be, he's really tired. He's just saying it like that. But the Torah, the next words are, this is why he is called Edom. Meaning, it's just what he called. I come home, I say, can I have that chicken soup? That's why I'm called chicken soup. What's going on here? Why is he defined by the way he describes this pot of soup? And by the way, when Yaakov feeds it to him, it's not called Adom anymore. It's called bread and mezid adashim, which is what it actually is. So I think to really understand this, we need to go back all the way from the beginning. From when Yaakov and Eisav are born, we see there's a separation between the two. Yaakov is Ish Tam Yoshev Bo'alim. He's inside the tent. He's someone who studies. He's someone who focuses inwards. Eisav is out in the field. He's constantly out. He's born with hair. He's born with a description of his external presence, of his external appearance. He's actually described as Admoni, red, which is interesting why the Torah there doesn't say Al Ken Karashmo Edom. We call him Edom not because he was born red, but rather because he asks and focuses on the color of the food. So what's really going on here? It seems that we have two different types of personality. There's a personality that's focused inward. It's focused on who he is, on what he is, on figuring out who he is. He does step later outside into the world and deals with many different challenges, as we know. But he starts his life with building that internal side. Eisav from day one is focused on the external appearance. Is focused on the outside. He's in the Sadeh. He's out there. It says that Yitzchak loved Eisav because Tzaid Befiv, and Chazal explained that he was constantly saying the right thing. He always knew how to fool the people on the outside, draw the right picture. We actually see later on when Eisav finds out that his parents are not so happy with the women he married. What does he do? He doesn't change something. He brings on another woman and marries her too. So to cover up what he did before without changing anything. Meaning there's something about Eisav that is constantly focused on the outside versus Yaakov, who is focused internally on building that internal self. And I think this is the key to understanding what's going on here. Eisav comes and he sees the soup. What does he call it? Red. It's not red, it's food, right? But all he is looking at is the external appearance of self and the external appearance of everything around him. This is why he doesn't really care about the Bechorah, being the firstborn. On the outside, who sees who's first? It's two kids. Who cares who's the Bechor? What does it matter about the spiritual meaning of being first? It seems that this is why he's tired. Because at the end of the day, if you're constantly focused on the external side of things only, and it's all about that, you don't have any inner self. You don't have any inner drive. There's nothing pushing you forward. There's nothing really getting you up in the morning. You're constantly tired because there's no driving force pushing you forward every day to achieve new goals. It's all about appearance, and that can get extremely tiring.
Right, exactly like you're saying, that when something external is what's driving you, it's very hard to keep it up. It's very hard to keep that engine to push you going forward, and you get tired from faking it, basically. And as we know, modern psychology, so back in Chazal, many, many years ago, there is a positive way to fake it till you make it, as said in modern psychology. But as Chazal put it, mitoch shelo lishma ba lishma, Lishma, or as Sefer Chinuch puts it many times, we have the one Gemara that says that mitoch shelo lishma ba lishma is a good thing. You will get rewarded even though you're acting without having any internal intention to do the right thing. You're just acting on the outside. Still, it will be a good thing because it will lead to doing the right thing from the right intentions. But we also have Gemaras that say that if you keep on doing things for the wrong intention, for the wrong meaning, for the wrong cause, it will end up haunting you and hurting you later on in the future. So obviously there's the big machloka between the sugyas. Tosfos, among others, brings up that question. But Tosfos says the main difference between the two Gemaras is when you do things not for the right cause, but yes, you're still doing it for your internal reason because you want to get to the right cause, because you want to end up doing it for the right reason. You're pushing yourself even so to still do it. If you're faking it now in order to make it for the right internal cause, that will end up going to a place where your cause, your intention, and your actions will be aligned and will end up being a good thing. However, on the other side is when you keep on faking it for the external reasons, and Tosfos says, in order to look better in front of your friends, in order to show off in front of others, you're using the faking in order to push yourself in front of others, in order to make yourself appear better than others or appear better in front of others. That's the wrong reason, and that will end up hurting you. And as we see with Eisav, you will burn out. You'll end up being tired from it, and you won't be able to continue it on for a long time. And the interesting thing is, maybe we see it throughout the Parsha in different places. Yitzchak, who loves Eisav more because the actions he does, maybe we can say Yitzchak, seeing the actions, believes that mitoch shelo lishma ba lishma. And maybe also that's the reason why later on at the end of the Parsha, Yitzchak asks Eisav to go hunt for him. He wants to see those actions Eisav is doing, and Yitzchak wants to put into them his bracha, his blessing, his lishma, so that Eisav's ma'asim will be mitoch shelo lishma ba lishma. And looking at the bracha Yitzchak actually gives Eisav, says to him, Hashem shall give you mital hashamayim. Hashem shall give you his blessing in everything you do. You should see Hashem in everything, in all these actions that you're taking, hoping that, again, these actions will end up being lishma with Eisav. And like we were saying, probably that's the reason why Eisav is tired, because again, sometimes it's good to fake it until you make it. It's going to push you, it's going to get you there, as long as you're doing it for the right internal reasons in order to better yourself. But if you're doing it for the external reasons, in order to make other people like you better, in order to have other people look at you more than what you are now, you will end up burning out yourself and ending up like Eisav, all tired.
It's interesting, you mentioned the fake it till you make it. One of the things that differentiate between a good fake it till you make it and a bad one is that the bad ones are usually all about getting quick results. I want to fake it because I want to be there already. I don't want the process. I don't have patience for the process. The other side you were talking about is when you're faking it as part of your work, as part of trying to achieve a certain goal. And we see this also with Yaakov and Eisav, because Yaakov goes out to the world. He learns to deal with the world. He uses worldly tactics to deal with Lavan. But it's a process. It's a slow process, a learning process. He goes into the tent. He learns. He builds up his personality. Yaakov has the patience to build himself up. And that's why he can be who he is, both internally and externally. Eisav doesn't have patience. He wants results immediately. He's born made, like a cake that you look at it and on the outside it's ready. But if you check and you put a toothpick in it, you'll see that it's soft on the inside. Eisav wasn't ready on the inside. He was ready on the outside, and he was looking for quick results all the time. And that's key to complete burnout and to being constantly tired, because you're constantly chasing, wanting to look good on the outside, wanting to satisfy everyone around you and to build up your personality based on everything around you, as we spoke about a few weeks ago, and not based on yourself, on who you are, but based on how people see you. If you live your life constantly based on how others perceive you and not focused on your internal self, you'll burn out really quickly and end up feeling so tired, just as Eisav does.
Exactly, and as you said, I think it's one of the more important lessons we can learn from this. What should be motivating us in life?
Shkoyach, great.
Shkoyach to you, and we'll talk again next week, please, guys. For more Talking Torah videos on different topics, check out our YouTube channel.